Jay, you're here. You were part of the broadcast last night. You got the last word last night. We're going to give you the first word this morning. This is your sport. Your biggest takeaway from last night's game one was?
That the NBA missed an opportune time to reseed the entire playoffs. This does not need to be the NBA Finals.
That is bold.
And it's with all due respect to Miami, especially them not having Goran Dragic, plantar fasciitis, Bam being hurt. Like, this is where, and I'm not saying it will work out this way with the Clippers because who knows what would happen with Denver and everything, but you just wish that they would have reseeded 1 through 16, Key. Just the best teams.
Yeah.
No more East-West. Look, the reality is, coming into this, we all know, we both agreed that the Lakers are going to win. No matter, you said 5 games, 6 games, whatever it might be.
4 now.
Right? 4 now. It seems like a sweep. It seems like it's imminent. But this is just where I wish every team that I paid attention to in the East, whether that be Milwaukee, whether that be Toronto, whether that be Miami, whether that be Boston, I didn't think any team was good enough to beat the Lakers.
Or the
Clippers.
Or the Clippers.
Right? So I much have rather see 1 through 16, regardless of, take out this whole East-West thing. And this was a year with everything happening in 2020. Let's just find out who the best team was. But in the NBA, the Lakers probably still would have been there, probably still would have best team. But I just think we would have seen the matchups would have been different.
It would have probably been more, obviously would have been more competitive, because if you take out this format and put in the format which you're talking about, like the NC2A to a degree, you could have seen a Portland team maybe go a little further, a Utah team go a little further.
May have seen Denver. I mean, it may have been Denver
a little bit further.
To be real, it may have been the Clippers. I mean, talk about that matchup with Denver. It may have been the Clippers, right? The Clippers might have faced just the Lakers. I'm not saying they're going to get there, and this is not being disrespectful to Miami. Look, Miami felt like they were overwhelmed last night. And in scouting report, Key, you and I were talking about via text. I said, like, LA's ability to knock down 3-point shots will be the difference maker in this ball game.
And they knocked them down.
They made 11 in the first half. They shot 65% from the three-point line. And once you do that, it opens up the paint. And that's where AD, LeBron just started attacking. The game was over. There was nothing they can do. So you always wonder with Miami, like, where was your scoring punch? After the end of the first quarter, I got 2 great nuggets for you guys, because you love these more so, Zubin, okay? So the Lakers ended the first quarter on a 25-3 run. The biggest run throughout the course of the game, the Lakers went on a 75-30 run.
Wow. A
75-30 run in the first game of the NBA Finals.
Wow.
That's it. I've never seen anything like that before.
A 22 run.
22-point run. Yeah, great. 75-30 run. And KCP knocking down shots.
He played well.
Danny Green knocking down shots. AD knocking down threes. LeBron attacking. Jimmy Butler rolled his ankle twice. You're surprised he's still even in the game. Goran Dragic no more. It was tough to watch that game last night.
I want to talk about the Heat's injuries with you in 1 minute, but just a reminder that we essentially have a commissioner in Adam Silver that is as progressive as anybody. The 116 thing that Jay had broached, that's something that other people had brought to Silver before and said, you should really consider this across the board, because the East has been so much weaker over the years traditionally than the West, completely understanding last year the Heat, the Raptors won the NBA title. So that is something that has been broached before, but maybe in this atypical year, it's something that could be addressed again moving forward in a more permanent fashion. They talked about having a tournament before. They had the play-in tournament. Maybe this is next. Jay, on the Heat, obviously you mentioned the injury to Jimmy Butler with the rolled ankle. Dragic, 34, banged up. But what do you think about Bam Adebayo's shoulder injury and what it does to the Heat's size inside?
It hurts him a lot. With the way the Lakers are shooting the rock. I mean, look, Rajon Rondo's been shooting 45% from the three-point line in the bubble, Key.
Yeah.
Rondo's out there hooping. So you can't really play zone because they understand time, location. They understand different pockets to shoot the ball on. LeBron James, AD catch the ball in the middle of the zone. There's really nothing you could do. You're done.
And I think, though, when you say Bam, they're in trouble because of that, I felt, and it's not because I'm a Laker fan, I felt like they was going to be in trouble anyway, because we got 3 bigs that we can run. We can move AD to the 5 if we choose to do so. Big shoulders is always a force in the middle. Dwight Howard. I call him Big Shoulders. Dwight Howard. And then if we ever decide that we want to get into the JaVale McGee game for some minutes, we can always do that as well. So I always felt like they were outmatched, especially when we go big, that they were in trouble. Because even if you don't put LeBron James, AD, and Dwight Howard on the floor, that's an average of about 6'11".
I'm with
right?
you. Yep.
I mean, that's probably, if I'm doing the math correctly, Z, you probably could do it, calculate it really fast in your head. But when you got 2 7-footers and a 6'8" dude, that probably average out to about 6'11". That's a lot of size, man.
And I'll tell you, so Dwight got exposed defensively because of all the pick and roll stuff that they do. But what LeBron James and AD did, they got Bam 2 quick fouls. Yeah. They drove, they got him 2 quick fouls. And then once they did that, it felt like there was nobody to protect the middle of the paint. And that's where the Miami Heat are always going to struggle. If you attack Bam, and I'll tell you one thing, his shoulder being hurt, his wrist being hurt, you can be sure that every time he's back in the game, they're going to crack into him again.
Was he hurt prior? Folks said it might have been a
reoccurrence, possible reoccurrence.
Well, he had hurt that wrist in the last series versus Boston, and his shoulder too. Both.
But he ran into Dwight Howard.
It was that and one where it wasn't an and one, but he banged into him, and I think that just kind of probably messed it up even more. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus right now.